Hey guys, Spaceman Spiff here with episode 23 of Spaceman Climbs. But before I jump in, I just want to say, I know I haven't been posting as many videos recently. I apologize for that. Please don't take it as an indication that I'm waning off or anything. I have had a couple busy weeks. I don't have quite as much free time as I did when I first started posting videos, but I'll keep them coming, I promise. I've also been trying to install NetEase. I'm trying to install Warcraft Arena, and I just can't get them working. I don't know what's going on. It's something with patch 2.8, I guess, or 1.28, whatever this newest patch is. I forget the version number. Either way, it's not working for me and driving me crazy, so I've been spending time on that rather than actually just posting my Spaceman Climbs videos. So either way, I guess that's what's been happening, but I'm going to jump into this one now. It's an undead versus human, and I spawn on the bottom right corner of Turtle Rock. So I feel that Undead is a really tough race to play against human. I have a really hard time dealing with human towers. I feel like it's tough to keep them from going up. The expansion usually goes up even if you can delay it, and then it turns into like this really tough game where you're either, I guess at least in the main cookie cutter strategies, you're going for either some Crypt Fiends and Meat Wagons and trying to push over an expansion, or you're going for fast destroyers and you're going to try and do some quick destroyer play to take down the towers before they get too numerous. So that's standardly what you're going to see, but that's not what I'm going to go for. That's right, I used the word standardly there. Excuse me. But instead I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm expecting my opponent's going to be going for, I'll tell you now, I know that he's here. He could have been on any of these spawns, but I expect that he's going to be going for this green camp or power creeping this immediately, but the combination of the two to get him level 2, and then either trying to maybe power creep this. Sometimes you'll see players trying to power creep this expansion, but usually they'll go to this side, especially if it's empty, because now I know that he's across from me. I just scouted out the west side. So I'm thinking he's probably going to go for something like that, and I want to delay that as much as possible. So I went for a fast hero build. I built my altar and ziggurat immediately, and now I have my Tomb of Relics on the way. So, I think I screwed up my build a little bit here, and I sent out my Scout Ghoul a little too early, but I'm still going to have my hero out on time, and I'm still going to have a Rod of Necromancy on him, so that's more or less what matters. I'll be in there with the Harass. Let's see, up here I'm scouting out. I think I'm going to see that he's not here. Yep, and now I'm going to go moving into the enemy base. Let's see, I still don't have 50 wood, so yeah, I sent him too early. I need that 50 wood for another ziggurat, but I'm not blocked or anything, so it's okay. My hero has his rod, and we're going out. I see that this is not being crept. I see that his hero's not here, so that means this is probably what's happening, and you'll see my Death Knight runs there. With my ghoul, I'm going to put some damage on a peasant. It's not going to get a kill right now, probably, but maybe later when I happen to run by, I can use a coil, or maybe I'll have some skeletons in there dealing damage. And there it is. So he is creeping, just like we expected. I'm going to manage to get this Ogre Warrior kill, so that's nice. I have split experience with him right now. I use my rod to resurrect 2 skeletons and start focusing on some militia, but he focuses down my skeletons very quickly as well, so we're trading experience here. I did bring in my Scout Ghoul, so this is actually pretty helpful, having just this one ghoul here. That little bit of extra damage helps. And now his militia form's done. So this harass is going well. I think I'm going to pick off both of these. I probably could have gone for this forest troll kill. I'm surprised I didn't. I think that was probably a mistake. Instead, I just went for these two. I probably could have gotten all 3. Also a mistake, I'm going to coil the far one. I don't know why I did that. I should have coiled him, and with these 4 units, I'm sure I have the damage output to get all of them. So I run my Death Knight down. He's taking some damage, and you don't want that to happen. I was also trying to pick off this militia, but it's also not going to happen because he has his tower up. It was so close. I'm going to run in with my last coil to try and pick it off. But what I'm seeing here is that he still hasn't teched. He's still building more peasants. And, at this point you should have some warning bells ringing. I'm thinking he's probably going for an expansion. He hasn't started yet, but that's what he's going to try and do. It's possible that he's still just building up so that he can tech. But he has a lot of footmen. It looks like trouble's brewing, right? So I'm running home. I'm almost done with this. There's no charges left, so I'm going to run home, pick up another one. I've started my tech. I'm a little behind. I should have teched earlier, but I'm just bad at the game and I forgot to. And I have quite a few ghouls here. So I'm gonna be going for, well, right now this is a very standard strategy, right? I'm gonna be diverging a bit upon hitting tier 2, and I'll talk about it come then. But right now I just want to tech. I want to make sure I leave some ghouls back at my base because I don't want to slow down any wood income. I don't want to run low on wood at any point. And I want to keep the pressure up. I seem to be doing well. I know he's going to try and expand, so I want to keep scouting and pressuring and not creeping. So I'm running up with just 3 ghouls in my hero on this side, and I'm bringing a 4th ghoul up the middle, just in case he was coming to harass me or hit my base. I would see him coming. So as soon as we reach his base, these 2 groups are going to join up. But for now, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be caught off guard by him running through the other way. So let's see. I come through. There's still 1 arcane tower, nothing else. He's building 1 farm here. More peasants coming out. Still tier 1, and I think I'm going to get a look in there. Oh, maybe not. There we go. And I'm going to see, yeah, so he does not have a whole lot of militia here. It looks like most of his units are called to arms elsewhere. I'm absolutely sure at this point that he has no more intention to tech. Like this is a fast expand all day. My hero's out of mana. I've done some pretty good coiling. I haven't lost much to the tower. Here I run into him. I see that he's taken some damage and he's got devotion aura, even further proof that he has definitely crept his expansion. And now I'm going to run and scout it out. That was a nice kill for me. I got a footman kill, which gets me unholy aura. So I'm able to move around much more quickly than him. That gives me a lot of power here. I don't know why I didn't cut straight across, though. By coming down, I tried to do something fancy, and it allowed him to get in position and stop me from getting into his expansion. Which is a little annoying. Now I have to do this and take more damage than I wanted to. But I definitely need to confirm. I want to see timing and everything. And look what I see. I see he's been power building. He definitely crept it. I could have gone to grab that, but it's not a big deal. But what I'm also seeing is he's out of wood. My harass has been effective enough that I've killed enough peasants, and he's had to call to arms enough times that he just hasn't had the wood income he was hoping for. And this is a good sign for me. Any delay on the expansion is good because, like I said, I feel like it's really hard to stop it from going up. But if you can delay it, that's a step in the right direction. So I'm going to pause it for a minute, and let's see. I hit tier 2 and immediately go tier 3. I throw down a Temple of the Damned, and that's it. I'll get a second hero eventually, but I'm not getting a slaughterhouse. I'm not going to have any statues. I'm just going for a ghoul frenzy necromancer push. Instead of like ghouls teching to destroyers or the tier 2 meat wagons, I'm going to go for a 50-50 food ghoul necromancer army. And this is something I've been experimenting with a little bit. I've been playing around with it, and we'll see how it plays out. So what that means, I guess, no, I'm going to pause it again, is I need to get there. Like, it's of the utmost importance that this Temple of the Damned stays, like it doesn't get canceled, and that my economy doesn't get harassed or anything like that, right? So my goal now is to buy time until I'm at 50 of 50. I'm not going to creep another camp if I can help it. I'm not going to return to base if I can help it. I'm just going to run around and make him chase me and try and pick off a kill here and there. But I don't want him harassing me. I don't want him getting any more experience advantage. He has secured the gold advantage, so now I'm going to try and secure the tech advantage. That's more or less what I'm thinking here. So we'll see. I'm moving out. Looks like I can't get anything done there. I still only have 4 ghouls. It's not looking good for me. So I'm just going to keep moving. I don't stop to creep this because I'll take too much damage and maybe I'll waste too much time. I'm going to run around and try and put some damage on his main and see what's going on there. Meanwhile, still ghouls. I'm getting some upgrades. So upgrades are great if you can afford them, and if you're going just 2 tech buildings, you generally can. It's a good idea, especially on necromancers because, of course, the buff on skeletons is massive as well. I come in here, he calls to arms, pushes me away, but his hero's here, so even though I'm doing no damage, he's also not accomplishing anything either. We're more or less breaking even. And now I'm coming down, I think, to pick up my second hero. I think that's my thought right now. So I've been, like I said, I've been playing with this strategy a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what this right second hero is. Sometimes I'm a big fan of Tinker play, so the Tinker I like to pick up a lot but he's not so great in this kind of spot because Tinker's great against footmen and militia in kind of longer battles or drawn out battles where the factory can really do its job. But I'm playing a game right now where I'm poking in, maybe trying to get a peasant kill or a footman kill, and then running away, right? I'm doing that, and the Panda is definitely a little more reliable than the Tinker there. Breath of Fire does that area of effect damage, and then I can run away. It's instant. Of course, the argument is why not get a Lich? The Lich is great at that, and the Lich is for sure the role that will fill that. You guys know me, though. I don't want to do something that everyone else does. I want to stay a little bit outside the box a little bit. And I'm also... You can maybe make an argument that the Panda didn't have to wait the build time. I just picked him up here. And also, if it gets into the ultra late game, Breath of Fire is amazing against towers. So, the Panda has a place in Undead for sure. Either way, I picked him up here, and now I'm running north, and I'm going to try and do a little bit more damage again. Make sure he's not creeping, make sure he's not hitting me, because the last thing I want happening is an Archmage running in here with a bunch of footmen. So that's what humans love to do to Undead, right? And that would just cause so many problems right now. It would slow me down, it would reveal everything. One thing I will say, though, is with this kind of build, necromancers are great at holding it. You're not going to lose to a footman push if you're going necromancers. Your base is going to hold as soon as this guy spawns. If you go statues, that's not necessarily the case. So there is the added defensive benefit of getting necromancers. That said, I don't want him to see that I'm going necromancers right now, and I want to keep him in his base, so that's what I'm doing. I see he's got a tower here. Standard stuff. I do a Breath of Fire, and he comes in to cut me off, so I'm going to have to coil to save the school. But that's not the end of the world. You know, we're breaking even again still. He's not getting any extra experience. Now I'm going to run south. I'll probably run north and see what he's doing in here. Just got another armor upgrade, so that's good. 1 attack, 2 armor. Nearing tier 3, and also getting close to my 50 of 50 food, which is the point I want to attack at. So I come in, I see he's still here, he's still afraid of my army, so he doesn't want to overcommit by stepping out or creeping something, and I see that, so I'm going to try and creep this really quickly. I've got both heroes. I thought I could use the bodies just to get a little bit of extra scouting or firepower, so I went for it, and I think that's fine. I think it's fine. There's the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. They're not bad on either of my heroes either. So here we go. I come. I see their footmen and the Archmage here, so I'm going to go and push his main again. See if I can get some damage on. See if I can get him chasing me. Just keep it even. And look at that. He scouts me. So he now knows what's coming. I've hit tier 3. He sees my necromancers. Ghoul Frenzy's on the way. He is on top of this, so I'm not going to be able to deal any damage here right now. He's started his tech, but where's his Archmage? I haven't seen him yet, so maybe he's not chasing me just yet. But either way, we're hitting the point that I wanted to, right? I've kept him in his base. I haven't lost anything. I've still had those same ghouls that I left with way back when I split them up down the middle and wide here. And now, because I was able to not lose anything and keep him at level 3, I think I'm doing pretty well because I have a huge upgrade advantage, 1-2 to 0-0. I have necromancers out who are just initiates, but we're going to see some upgrades coming soon. And I have Ghoul Frenzy, which is massive. So there's a little skirmish here, and I think this is a really strong play by him. He leaves his water elementals. I do get a footman kill, and he just runs by. So this is exactly what I was talking about, right? This is what humans want to do. They want to run into the back of your base with footmen and an archmage with their level 2 water elementals and buy time and kill acolytes and cancel buildings. So he wanted to be doing this much earlier by standing right outside his base and forcing him to deal with my army and not move out. I definitely bought myself a lot of time and I was able to get much more situated. But even now, he's moving out, and this is going to delay my push, right? My plan was to hit when I hit 50 of 50. I want to go straight to his base from there, from where I am. But now that he's run by, if I go to his expansion, he's going to be able to trade and more or less take out my main. If I go to his main, he's going to come out on top in this exchange. So I think this is a good play by him, and that's why immediately I decide to teleport home. Because I don't want to chase him. And he turns around. But I don't want to chase him into my base and let him get into this back corner and form a little cubby with his small group of units and waste like 3 minutes of my time where he's building towers and getting those siege engines out or something. Instead, I teleported home, which meant he couldn't get himself into that corner. And I do lose some time, but it's just like teleport and this walk distance, as opposed to walking, engaging, walking back. So I thought that was a pretty good play by me. I think that bought me a lot of time. I think that caught him off guard because he went running back right away. And this opened up the lane for me. I'm now moving out. I still have 50 of 50. I have 1 attack, 2 armor upgrades. I brought an Acolyte because I was thinking, you know what, I might even throw down a Tomb of Relics and a Ziggurat. But I forgot to buy a Sacrificial Skull, so he's just going to be fodder for my necromancers. And then all of a sudden, look at this. I thought this was going to be less defended than it is, but this is a pretty well defended base. He's got 4 towers up, 5th tower is almost up. The surface area is not too easy to get to, but I figured at this point I've got to commit. I think I might have something going for me. I know my ghouls are going to be really hard for him to deal with. There's going to be a lot of bodies once I stop focusing the town hall and let my ghouls kind of run amok, and there I go. And then I'm going to deliberately bring my necromancers into tower range, so they're going to start taking some damage. But at the same time, the skeletons that are resurrected just start appearing in such high numbers so quickly that it starts getting overwhelming. I start focusing down towers once a lot of the bodies are out of the way. And then he shows up. So we can see he did try and creep something and took some damage on his units, which is not ideal. And he didn't teleport in immediately, which I think is kind of surprising. But at the same time, what does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4... Maybe he lost a couple. Maybe he had 5 or 6 footmen and his Archmage. I don't think that would have changed the tides of this battle. These footmen are just going to get torn apart, even though they have 1 armor from Devotion Aura. They're going to get torn apart by these 1-2 skeletons even, right? I just have so many numbers on him. I have Breath of Fire, I have Death Coil. And now this expansion's in a lot of trouble. There's nothing he can do about it. So this is something I've been experimenting with quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. I'm still losing with it quite a bit too, so it's definitely not figured out. But one of the main reasons is because this game, or one of the main reasons I keep losing is because this game is not over yet. I think at this point it's really easy to be like, nice, game's over, I just crushed the expansion, yes, and I have definitely lost games by going and counterattack or going on to the main base right here. And I think that's a mistake because human players are definitely able to claw back in, especially against undeads, right? They just need to sneak up a couple towers somewhere. Human heroes are really powerful, especially once they get the paladin out and they start getting a couple levels. And we can see he's tier 2. We know he's tier 2. So it's not like, why rush in? I am definitely ahead, but the game's not won. So I could go in and potentially lose stuff to towers, potentially let him get some picks with his heroes, or I can just go back and be patient. When you're ahead, don't try and rush it. Just lean on them, exploit that edge, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to wait until I'm at 50 of 50 food, which I'm just getting to now once these come out. I think I've got master level necromancers now, I do. And I'm going to creep out a gold mine. I'm going to creep this just so that I can expand right now because I'm ahead, because I know it's going to be really hard for him to move out of his base and deal with my army right now. It doesn't matter what he's going for. It means he's going to be having to accomplish more than one thing. It's not just expand himself, it's keep me down. It's just expand when you're ahead for sure in this kind of spot. And then I'm going to move out and try and do the similar thing that I was doing before. Keep him in his base, dance around, buy some time, because I've got the edge, and the more time we have, the more it's going to lean in my favor. So, here we go. I've got my 3 necromancers, a bunch of ghouls, 2/2 upgrades now, level 3/3, and I'm going to go sit outside his base. At least that's my thought process right now. Almost have 3 armor upgrades. And I was talking about it in a previous video. I have always thought that armor upgrades contributed to the negation of damage from the spell. That was a weird sentence. But normally when you cast a spell on a summoned unit, it does 200 damage. And I thought that when those units had their armor upgraded, the dispel would do less than 200 damage. And I've thought that my entire life. And someone pointed out to me in one of my comments recently that that is not the case. So I guess I'm wrong. And that's unfortunate. But I'm sorry for leading you astray. It was my mistake. And yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about that. I guess it's not as high a priority to get 3 armor upgrades if it's not as effective on the skeletons, but it's still really good. It's still really good. You like whether or not Dispel takes 2 swings now to kill the skeletons, it's still really good to get those armor upgrades for the skeletons, just because you have so many bodies. And these ghouls with Ghoul Frenzy are really powerful against footmen and militia as well. So I come in here, he's got some towers set up. He has his Arcane Sanctums. I'm surprised he's getting Sorceress knowledge there, but he does already have Priests upgraded, so he does have Dispel. And I'm able to quickly take down these towers with my Breath of Fires. There we go. And this is where a human base can start to work against you, because he's walled off completely, so his heroes can't get in there. And so I saw that, and I'm going to micro my ghouls and necromancers to the back and hold the back line, while I just use my heroes and a couple units here to buy time and maybe pick off a kill if I can. So that's what's happening, and over here, my ghouls against the militia are just going to overrun them, especially with the necromancer support. So he's now being picked apart a bit. He's trying to deal with an army here with his heroes and use just priests to combat my ghouls and necromancers, and that's not going to work. So he's now lost all income. I'm chasing him on the backside. His Mountain King is out leveled at this point. So even though he was way ahead of me at one point, I did manage to, ahead of me in terms of hero levels, just like the Archmage Death Knight at that point in the game. I did come back pretty convincingly, and we definitely saw there that the economy advantage was not enough to surpass the tech advantage. So I think that's an interesting game. It's, not a strategy that works every time right now. I'm still tweaking it. There's still definitely things I want to work on. Second hero is really interesting. I think there's got to be a better answer. And I'm trying to avoid going for the Naga or the Lich. Maybe the Dark Ranger I could throw in there too. We'll see. But either way, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Questions, comments, and criticisms are welcome. If you could subscribe, I would appreciate it. If you could like the video, I would appreciate it. And have a great rest of your day.